Hi Caitlin, it's Robin. I have your design open in your two different palettes, and think first of all that the palette choices that you made and how you built them are very, very good. You have your cool analogous and your warm to cool low key interval, and so you've got a nice span of intermixed blends here given the parent colors that you started off with. So that's really good, and you can see when you build a good interval and a good palette, then you can really get a strong design happening in addition to the design work that you do, but then also when you're applying the color, then you really have a lot of options. So that's definitely coming into play here. And it's very interesting to see what happens to your design when all you do is just kind of change the key and change the palette. So design-wise, it's very strong. You did some beautiful work here. Just with the circular prompt, you have kind of a lot of visual interest. I like that you have a focal point here, and you've kind of reinforced that focal point with this center object, but then you don't have it kind of as literal as a target because you sort of brought in these other forms to kind of come in and sort of interrelate with this focal point. And then you have various layers that you're placing your circles within, and then so there's just kind of a lot of nice interplay here, and some interesting kind of push and pull. Now, ways of thinking about kind of how to work with depth. You're getting a lot of depth with this piece, and the reason for that is because, as we know, warms come forward, cools go back. So this is an easier piece to get a lot of depth with. It is just making sure that you're kind of applying the warmest colors to the objects that are in the forefront and those that are larger, and then consequently your lighter, sort of softer, more muted, less saturated less saturated colors are going to go back in space, and then your cool is going to go back even further than that. So some good work there in terms of kind of getting a lot of depth, there. And then here you're starting to get that, but can you see that because you have the same, you actually have a slightly cooler value or cooler color for kind of your main focal point, and then this gets kind of even warmer and a little more saturated. We're not getting quite as much depth with this piece, and part of that is because you are in a cool palette, and so it is going to be a little harder to kind of balance that. But ways of doing that would have been to even kind of not have the dark blue be quite so prominent. Instead, maybe having this be the dark blue, and then maybe having your your kind of warmest, kind of most saturated color come forward a little bit more. So playing a little more with some of the placement of the objects that are in the forefront, and then the middle ground, and then the background. You may have gotten a little more depth out of that, but this is kind of a tweaky thing. I'm just kind of pointing out, kind of how you can even increase the depth even more. But you did some really wonderful work with this, Caitlin. I appreciate how much time you put into these, and continue to challenge yourself. So, obviously you don't have to meet, or I wouldn't want you to meet just the basics of the assignment, because you've got a lot of design ability already. You clearly understand the colors, so just push yourself within the design parameters as much as you can, and continue to advance the way you are. Okay, and let me know if you have questions. Okay, keep up the good work. Thanks.